Before we get to the movie, I have a really, really good idea for a TV show. Now, it's going to sound stupid when I tell you the title, but just bear with me. It's called Count Bakula. Scott Bakula has become a vampire. He has an insatiable thirst for blood, but he also has an insatiable thirst to continue his acting career. He also has a twin brother, Ned. You must be Scott Bakula on the set during the day. You must act for me. Ned agrees to do it because he's tired of living in his brother's shadow. He's always wanted to try acting.
Which is funny. How do you live in a vampire shadow?
Ned is a terrible actor. Count Bakula tries to schedule all the auditions at night, but he can't always do that. So when Ned has to audition during the day, he tanks it. But when that happens, the producer that night hears a tapping on the window. Outside is Count Bakula, and he does a little bit of, "You will cast Scott Bakula in your movie." So Ned Bakula is getting all these great roles, commercials, movies, TV shows, and he sucks. If the shoot goes into the nighttime, they switch, and Count Bakula becomes the actor. And somehow becoming a vampire has made him an even better actor.
Yeah.
So he goes in and kills it. But he's become a real diva. He's difficult on the set. And the PAs keep disappearing. It's a show about vampires. It's a send-up of Hollywood and celebrity. It's a show about sibling rivalry. It's got everything. Count Bakula. I've got a bunch of movies that I've never seen before. You don't know what they are. Every episode I'm going to spring one on you. It might be good. It might be bad. We'll watch it and talk about it. Welcome to the basement. Tonight's movie features a true Hollywood legend. Some would even say that this is the greatest movie star of all time. He's never been on our show. He's a man so cool that they named a way of holding a cigarette after him, Humphrey Bogart. And you better have your life jacket handy, because tonight we endure the Caine Mutiny.
Oh, a Bogart movie I have not seen. Yes!
Released in 1954, TCM was directed by Edward Dmytryk. It stars Humphrey Bogart, Jose Ferrer, Fred McMurray, Van Johnson, and making his fourth appearance on our show, Lee Marvin. It was based on the Pulitzer Prize-winning novel of the same name by Herman Wouk, who, as of this recording, is still alive at the ripe old age of 103.
Watching the show and saying, "Isn't my name pronounced Wouk?"
The film was nominated for 7 Oscars and won none. This was the year of On the Waterfront, after all. During the filming, Bogart was already ill with undiagnosed esophageal cancer, which would claim his life just 3 years later. This film's title was an inspiration to a young British actor named Maurice Micklewhite, who we know as Michael Caine.
You mean his name could have been Michael Mutiny?
I want to be named after that minesweeper, the Caine boat. There's a mutiny going on. So for your gift, I'm sending you naval reinforcements.
It's U.S. Frogmen.
There's something involving baking soda. This is like a science thing.
Oh, okay. Be sure to use baking powder, not baking soda. So these things will swim, dive, and surface all by themselves.
That's cool. Auga! Auga! Report immediately to your battle stations at the old leather couch so we can watch the Caine Mutiny. Okay, just...
No relation! Willie Keith has just graduated from the Naval Academy. Attaboy, Luther! Oh, I hate that guy already.
You will serve the Navy and the country with honor and distinction.
And with baking soda, which will make you dive and then rise up again.
Baking powder.
God damn it.
Are you trying to kill the Navy?
At the nightclub, May Wynn is singing a romantic song.
I never knew.
What you got there?
She's singing into an immersion blender. She's Willie's girlfriend.
Leo, 2 scotch and waters, please.
No problem! Leo and Stu are good friends.
Willie, why didn't you introduce me to your mother?
I wanted you to meet her, but...
But you're just a floozy. You have to understand these things.
She wants to get married before he leaves, but he has reservations. Pearl Harbor, any jokes you make will be too soon.
He's stationed on the Caine. It's a minesweeper, and man, is it a bucket of rust. The place is a mess.
This isn't the duty that he expected, having graduated so high in his class.
I'm making a mistake scraping this ship. The only thing that's keeping the water out's the rust.
We should mutiny. Nevertheless, he is shown around. He meets Lieutenant Tom Kiefer,
The communications officer.
He meets Steve Merrick,
And it's led by this kind of washed-up captain.
Captain DeVries.
May I see your orders and qualifications, jacket?
And your nipples?
Captain DeVries doesn't like him right off the bat. He thinks he's an Ivy League boy.
War is hell.
And hell is for children. So they should be sending children to war.
My condolences. Thanks.
I did very well on the SATs. Hey, Ensign Keith. Here's your buddy, another ensign. Ensign, what's his face?
Ensign Harding. Off to sea they go.
You okay? You alright? You'll get used to it.
They do a sweep drill. In case they ever come upon any mines, you have to know how to do this.
Stop the engines.
Things go wrong.
Get me a line.
Yes, sir. You're not going to swim for it. The water's full of sharks.
You go in the water. The sharks in the water. Farewell and adieu to your fair Spanish ladies.
Keith falls in the water accidentally. He's got to go change his clothes. Keith gets in trouble with the captain. He had a coded message in his wet pants that he neglected. Let me tell you what that message said.
I'm being relieved of command.
I'm going to be replaced by Captain Francis Queeg. Bogey! Queeg meets with his officers.
We do things by the book. Deviate from the book, and you'd better have a half a dozen good reasons.
And finally, no mutinies.
The right way, the wrong way, the Navy way, and my way.
And then there's the Appian way, which is how you get to Rome.
One of the swabbies walks in with an untucked shirt, and Queeg doesn't like that at all. Queeg's got these little balls that he plays with when he's upset or tense. Keith, you're going to make sure everybody's got a tucked-in shirt and a shaved face and a nice haircut by tomorrow, or else I'll be mad.
They're helping out at a target drill.
They got a floating target out there. It's connected to the ship by a tow line. Queeg sees a guy with an untucked shirt. Ooh, Keith, I told you to tell them all to tuck their shirts in.
Sir, I got a heat rash.
Well, tuck your shirt in now.
Do you or don't you have an explanation for this?
Well, the explanation is I gave the order and he disobeyed it.
We're heading back. Right standard rudder.
He makes a huge deal about this.
Can you explain why the first violation occurred while you were the officer of the deck?
Because the order was given and the guy didn't do it.
He never tells him to stop turning the boat.
Hey, Captain, we're going around in a circle.
Will you not interrupt while I'm speaking?
Tim, we're going around
One
this
more
circle.
word out of you when you're on report.
I'm mad about this shirt.
You will both submit written reports explaining, A, why this man had his shirt tail out.
We told him to tuck it in and he didn't do it. They're going to run over their tow line, sever it, and lose that target. And that's exactly what happens.
This is why you have to keep your shirt tucked in.
Willie,
Sir?
Do you like me?
big things are made up of details. Don't forget, for want of a nail, the horseshoe was lost, and then the whole battle.
For want of a tucked shirt, the tow line was lost. And the ship is called back to San Francisco. Kiefer says, oh, I know what's going to happen. Queeg's going to be relieved of duty because he made that mistake with the tow line. Ha ha.
We get to hang out with Keith some more. And him and May, they go off to Yosemite. There's sparks a-flying off the waterfall.
You have changed.
Your shirt is so tucked in.
Oh, what a day.
I love Yosemite. They're called back so they can get a new radar installation. Queeg is still captain.
Take in the brow.
Turned down for what?
They're finally called into battle.
All hands put on battle dress.
Why am I doing this? They got to wear special cream on their faces.
Yeah, they're supposed to lead the way for all these little troop transport boats.
Ceasefire, 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 ceasefire.
Ceasefire, ceasefire.
Ceasefire, ceasefire? They're supposed to go 1,000 feet offshore and then turn around.
This orchestra is so bombastic. I imagine the man conducting it has an enormous mustache. Like way too big, yeah, exactly.
Well, they're not quite at 1,000 feet, and Queeg's like, turn around, turn around.
He leaves the fleet behind.
Dump this yellow stuff off the back of the boat.
People suspect that this might be because of cowardice.
You literally left a yellow streak in the water.
He gets a nickname, Old Yellowstain. They even made up a song about it.
Got those yellow stain blues. The old yellow stain blues. Those yellow stain
Blues. Everyone finds it funny, except for Merrick. I got the black cat blues.
Has the thought ever occurred to you that our captain might be unbalanced?
I think Queeg's a paranoiac.
I think Tom does make sense.
Speaking English and such.
Tom put a bug in Steve's brain. He starts keeping a journal of all the kooky stuff that Queeg does around the ship. And then the strawberries show up.
Ooh.
Oh boy, the strawberries.
Man, the strawberry incident.
It was a gift from another ship, a gallon of frozen strawberries. And that night, everybody gets ice cream and strawberries.
But he said, sir, there ain't no more strawberries.
How could they have eaten a gallon of strawberries in one night?
This is fake strawberries, and we're going to figure out how much everyone had, and whatever's left over is how much was missing.
There should be at least a quart of strawberries left. Queeg wants an investigation. Where did that food go? An investigation turns up nothing. Queeg says, you guys didn't do a good job. Somebody made a duplicate key.
Getting into the mess.
First, we collect every key on this ship and tag it with the name of the owner. Second,
We put them all in a bowl. We choose different keys, and then whoever our partner is, we do a special thing with them. We strip search everybody, and we're going to find that duplicate key. It's a big hassle.
Mr. Keith, don't you want to x-ray me for the key just to make sure?
I've seen him, Mr. Keith.
Are you familiar with Article 184 of Navy Regulations?
I stopped reading in the 160s.
A subordinate officer can relieve a captain of their position if they are deemed to be unfit. Ensign What's-His-Name
Harding
has been relieved of duty.
My wife is seriously ill.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
She'll be all right, honey.
Thanks, sweetie.
Good luck, Harding.
You too, darling. And he tells the guys before he leaves the ship, hey,
The mess boys ate the strawberries. I saw them.
I told Queeg about this, and he told me to shut my mouth. So he knows that there's no key. Steve is now convinced.
and they're going to go talk to Admiral Halsey himself, leader of the U.S. Navy in the Pacific.
But at the last minute, Tom gets cold feet. They're not going to believe us because we don't have as much experience as Queeg does, and they weren't there.
And so they leave without talking to Halsey. Well, I hope we never live to regret this.
A typhoon hits,
Ships being battered back and forth.
and Queeg keeps making these bad decisions. He's steering it the wrong way.
The boat is literally falling apart.
Captain, the radars are jammed. There's no sign of the fleet.
Captain, I found the strawberries. Suddenly, Queeg doesn't know what to do. He's completely frozen. Merrick takes command.
She's coming around slower, sir.
But then Queeg snaps out of it. He says, hey, Merrick, you're not in command. You guys do what I was telling you. The thing that was going to sink the ship. Merrick finally can't take any more.
I'm relieving you as captain of the ship under Article 184.
Boom!
And it's official.
Mutiny.
Back in San Francisco.
Merrick and Keith are in custody. They are awaiting trial for court-martial. If they are convicted, they're going to hang. Willie phones May.
Is your mother there with you?
No, she's in Washington.
Washington. He's one of those guys.
Yeah.
I could have married you in the most beautiful place in the world.
Now we'll have to get married in Washington.
It's all in the past.
But I want you to know that I love you. Never forget you.
Mr. Marek, my name's Barney Greenwald.
He's a Navy lawyer.
Someday in the future, my son will build RoboCop. He says, I don't like you guys. No one will take your case. I'll defend you. Fine, but I don't like you. The trial starts.
Is it possible for a sane man to perform offensive or...
Kiefer takes the stand, and he throws Steve under the bus. He says this whole thing was Steve's idea. What a coward.
The prosecuting lawyer is beating the crap out of this trial.
It is finally time for Captain Queeg to have his day in court. Here we go. This is why we paid the admission. Queeg looks really calm and composed. He doesn't look crazy at all. But then Greenwald turns up the heat.
You ever steam over your own tow line and cut it?
But I must say the defense outrages the dignity of this proceeding.
By presenting evidence.
Captain, did you ever turn your ship upside down in a vain search for a key that did not exist?
A key definitely did exist.
May it please the court.
Queek starts cracking up again. He starts sweating. He pulls at his balls. Yeah, that's right. I said it.
And they laughed at me and made jokes. But I proved beyond the shadow of a doubt and with geometric logic that a duplicate key to the wardrobe icebox did exist.
The mutiny was justified.
Willie and Steve are exonerated.
For he's a jolly good fellow.
Oh, mustache.
There's a big party, and all the officers of the Bounty are there.
The ship is not the Bounty.
It's not?
It's the Caine.
Really, Matt?
Tom shows up. Oh, I can't believe that you came here, you rat. Greenwald shows up drunk.
Hey, whoop-de-doo.
He's got a guilty conscience because he got you guys off.
And I've destroyed a lifelong Navy man.
You, Kiefer, you're the one who should have been on trial because you're the real mutineer.
Here, have a drink. Take that.
Greenwald, out.
Well, that's the end of that party.
He's a jolly good fellow. He's a jolly good.
I guess somebody can deny.
But I will have some more champagne. Sploosh! Willie gets a new assignment aboard a new boat. Queeg! He's got a gun! And he meets the new captain. He's the old captain.
That captain's done pretty good for himself in the war.
Single up all lines.
Drop Yellowstain. Run over tow line.
Stand by to cast off.
Find those strawberries!
Play us out, mustache. Ooh, he's being subtle. He's being very subtle. There we go. That's the mustache we know. Well, I wish I had some strawberries to offer you, but they've all gone missing. The Caine Mutiny. This is a classic, and I think rightly so. You sort of winced when I said rightly so.
Well, it's a classic, I think, for the last 45 minutes of the movie.
Before that, it's a lot of Navy maneuvers.
Yeah, treading water, showing off the fact that they have these really cool boats.
I think the trial part is problematic. Because the original version of this script was about 3.5 hours. So they had to trim out about 90 minutes.
Yeah.
I think most of that was trimmed out of the trial. The trial seems really rushed. As soon as it gets to Queeg's big speech, of course it's gripping.
Yeah.
But until then, it's frustrating at how incomplete it feels.
You know why it feels incomplete? Ensign Keith. I have made complaints on the show many times about having a boring central character in a movie. And this was the most boring person ever put to film.
So Humphrey Bogart really wanted this role, even though he was about 25 years older than the character was supposed to be. The studio found out how badly he wanted the role, and they lowballed him on the salary. Because they knew that however much they paid him, he'd take it because he really wanted to play that character. And that's exactly what happened.
And why did we watch it today? Did we watch it because it's the Caine Mutiny, or did we watch it because of Bogart?
We didn't go there for Van Johnson.
No.
Even though he did a fine job.
No, he did a great job.
Oh, yeah.
Because, he was the most subtle person in the entire thing.
Another thing about Van Johnson, those scars on his face are real.
Oh, really?
He got in an automobile accident where his face was smashed through the windshield. Every time he would be in a movie, it would all be covered up with really thick makeup. But for this, he felt like it was authentic. I really like Fred McMurray in this. I thought he was perfectly suited to play that role. This sort of snide intellectual who thinks a lot about things and gets ideas and pushes them.
He's the man who thinks, he doesn't do. Literally, he doesn't do anything in the movie other than put an idea into Merrick's head.
I think this is the first Jose Ferrer performance I've seen, and that voice, man.
He hardly has to modulate it, and he is super powerful.
Doctor, isn't there one psychiatric term for this illness?
So he has a grandness about him, even when he's playing someone who's
playing a lawyer
down.
Yeah.
But let's go back to Bogart. What made him so good in this role?
I think it's what made him really good in The Treasure of the Sierra Madre. He can really do crazy.
And the thing about him going crazy is he's the coolest man in the world. Yeah. Humphrey Bogart, just walking around in life, was markedly cooler than everyone else. And so when you see him playing someone who's not cool, something's going wrong here.
And as crazy as he gets, he never chews the scenery. Like, he never overdoes it.
The best shot in the movie is when they use the actual boat to assist the shot, when they're taking the elevator up to the deck. It's really powerful. Tona commented on it when we were watching it.
Yeah, I think I was taking notes during that shot.
Yeah, and then just having the strange drill that they're doing right beforehand, which is not explained.
That looked like something out of Kurosawa.
Yeah, yes, the mixture of colors and movement and landscape.
A verdict has been delivered. We've watched The Caine Mutiny. And now it's time for Article 184, also known as Seen It.
Seen It.
Walkin' Dude writes, these guys could have fit right into that cast of that film, I forget the name, where Michael Douglas is an English teacher at some fancy New England school and Tobey Maguire is his troublesome star student. Robert Downey Jr. is in it too. I think you're thinking of the movie Wonder Boys.
Seen it. Who are these guys? Us too?
I guess.
Yeah, okay.
I really like movies that are about geniuses who are stuck. And the movie is about them figuring out how to get unstuck.
Yeah, Michael Douglas, who's written one great novel, but he can't finish his follow-up.
He can't stop writing it.
But then also Tobey Maguire, who's this boy genius. When you have someone who's an artist and they're supposed to be better than everything else in a movie, and then you show their art, you're like, that's not that good. They demonstrate their genius by having one bad line from Douglas's bad novel. And then you get to hear one line of Tobey Maguire's novel, and it's perfect. So we don't have to hear passages and passages. Just one thing that convinces us, and then we just believe it all. Like Tanya Knott writes, Elaine May's incomparable A New Leaf. It's so good. And also Walter Matthau. Seen it.
I'm poor. Seen it.
My favorite movie I've seen this year is A New Leaf. It pleased me to no end.
Has there ever been a character like Henry Graham? He's asexual.
Mm-hmm.
He can't even abide being touched by a woman.
Yeah,
it's so weird.
Yeah. Also, it's interesting because Walter Matthau, man of the people, is playing this very rich trust fund baby.
And doing it perfectly.
Perfectly, yes.
I'm poor.
I'm poor. He's going around saying goodbye to the places he can't go anymore.
Robin Faulkner writes, how the heck did you enjoy A Ghost Story? I thought it was rubbish. Seen it.
Seen it.
I can totally understand why someone would dislike this movie. I'm not one of those people. The reason why you would maybe not like it is because it's kind of not a movie. It's a series of these portraits. Space out of time. It's almost like an art installation. It doesn't read as a movie. It doesn't feel like a movie. And when it tries to be a movie, in the middle part, someone has an angry monologue. That's when the movie's trying to be a movie. And it doesn't work.
I appreciate this movie, but I also don't like the movie. It is...
It's not a movie.
Well, it is trying very, very hard to be a work of art, as opposed to just being a work of art.
I didn't see it as trying too hard. I really didn't. No?
There's shots that are 4 or 5 minutes long of basically nothing happening. That's someone trying to make a work of art.
That's a movie not being a movie.
That's trying.
You think about it. You sleep on it. You'll see what I'm saying.
No, I've seen the movie. I've slept a number of nights since I've seen the movie. And there are great aspects of the movie. The costume of the ghost.
That is a very daring choice and could be disastrous, but I think it really works. The silence and the spaces of this movie just seem to really convey the deepest loneliness.
Oh, it's not scary, though. If you're expecting a ghost story, watch the movie Ghost Story. But if you're expecting a ghost story, don't watch the movie A Ghost Story. Unless you're looking for a ghost story, then it's tautologically the movie you're looking for. Rebels at Cloud9 writes, I bought my brother Ron for his birthday last month, and it finally came in the mail this week. We watched it, and he loved it. Seen it.
Seen it recently.
For the first time?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It is by Kurosawa. It is an adaptation of Shakespeare's King Lear.
It was his big comeback.
He made some significant changes when adapting it. He sets it in Japan. There are 3 sons instead of 3 daughters. Red, blue, and yellow are the sons. They have names as well. I think this is a better telling of that story than Shakespeare's King Lear. He made it a simpler story, and thereby more powerful by focusing on these certain characters and getting rid of the Duke of Gloucester and all these other people.
Oh, I love the Duke of... Okay.
I know. It's a smaller, more elegant story. He adds a nice little Lady Macbeth type character.
I was introduced to this by some friends of mine from high school who were like, you have to watch this one battle sequence. And it's that battle sequence in the center of the movie.
There's just music.
There's just flute music. And it's so intense.
The Criterion DVD for this has a special feature with Sidney Lumet talking about it. And it's just 12 minutes of some of those brilliant film talk I've ever heard.
Well, if you want to hear brilliant film talk, just listen to Sidney Lumet talk about a TV commercial. It'll be like, oh my God, I didn't realize it. They were squeezing the Charmin the whole time.
Permission granted to board our website, welcome to thebasementshow.com. We don't got no strawberries there, but we do have all of our episodes that we've ever recorded, and there are PayPal donation buttons. You can make a one-time or rolling monthly donation to support this show.
We love it when that happens, and I believe Matt's going to tell us someone who's done it.
Carl, who wrote us a very long letter, I'm just going to read portions of it. I no longer than 30 minutes ago finished watching Whiplash. It felt real. I'm honestly leaving this movie a bit jealous. I wish I knew someone like this in high school, a teacher so hell-bent to force the greatness out of you that he eventually would. Yeah, you could see it that way. He concludes, thanks Craig, Matt, Tona, and of course the cats for making a kick-ass show. Been watching movies since 2012. Thanks, Carl. To find out who the rest of our donors are and to see the contents of our mail crate, there's a lot of it, you can watch Unboxing, which comes out this coming Friday. All ashore that's going ashore. We've finished the Caine Mutiny, and we hope you had a good time. And now, watch this. I'm trying to think of another quote. Can't do it.
Hey, no, you will not.
Careful. The cameras and the lights are more important than the popcorn.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And if you're going to be making the noise, you don't have to crawl because we're not going to be using this footage.
There ain't no more strawberries.